Today we have the privilege of interviewing Professor V.C. Kulandesamy, Vice Chancellor of Indira Gandhi National Open University, a former Vice Chancellor of Madurai Kamaraj University and Anna University, Tamil Nadu. Professor Kulandesamy is well known as a researcher, educationist, and an administrator. And he writes poems in Tamil, and he has won Sahitya Academy Award for a critical work on Tirukkural. We are really happy to have this eminent man in our midst. Sir, would you tell us something about the difference between the conventional university and the open university?
It's a good question. The conventional university depends on face-to-face instruction. The students are in the classrooms, in the laboratories, on the campus of the educational institution. But when you come to the open university, the students are separated from the teachers. The students are, maybe they are in their homes, in their offices, in their fields, and in their factories. We approach them through printed material, television, radio, audio and video cassettes. Know that we make use of tutorial classes, but that plays a minor role. In general, if I am to put it, we believe today that taking knowledge to people is much easier than taking people to the place of knowledge. That in short is the concept of the distance education system.
Sir, Indira Gandhi National Open University has centers in Kerala. So how is the response of the Keralites to this open university, and what is the situation here?
Maybe I would enlarge this question. Today Indira Gandhi National Open University has about 112,000 students, and over the country we have 171 study centers, 16 regional centers, and these students in our system are served by about 250 coordinators and co-coordinators and nearly 7,000 counselors. If you take Kerala, the present strength is about 5,000. It will be 8,000 by January 1992. So on a population basis, maybe the number is all right. But taking the literacy level of Kerala, I would expect a larger enrollment. I hope that it will happen. Yes. The southern states have begun a little later when it comes to enrollment in Indira Gandhi National Open University, but it is picking up.
Yeah. So when you did something remarkable about the vocationalization of +2 in Tamil Nadu, what would be your advice to us, the Keralites?
Well, it will be wrong on my part to think in terms of giving advice to anyone. But you are aware of the fact, Professor Panikkar, that as early as 1854, the Woods Dispatch mentioned that there is a significant need for providing vocation-oriented education at the secondary level. It is not enough to prepare all the students for the university, because all of them do not go to universities. This is the beginning. And then this was reiterated in the Kothari Commission report, and the National Policy on Education in 1986 again emphasized this fact. I have been associated with one report in Tamil Nadu, and I was also the chairman of the working group on vocationalization of higher secondary education established by the Government of India. The pattern adopted in Tamil Nadu is a little different from the one that is now being supported by the Government of India. In my opinion, vocationalization should have certain flexibility from state to state depending upon the local need. But on the whole, the progress achieved isn't very encouraging. Our target was 10% during the 7th plan, but it stopped around 6 to 7%.
It is not much encouraging.
That's true. Therefore, I feel that one of the major areas of importance in the field of education during the 8th plan and later must be diversifying higher secondary level of education and introducing courses that will be useful for the people in life.
Yes. When you were the Vice Chancellor of Madurai Kamaraj University, you were instrumental in introducing say, autonomy in 4 colleges. And in Kerala, this is always a point of dispute. Some academics differ, and they feel it will lead to nepotism, some kind of production of degree, the manufacture of degree holders, etc. So would you say something about it?
Well, I must say autonomy, unfortunately, is a very much misunderstood term. We have, if you take an educational institution, administrative autonomy, financial autonomy, and academic autonomy. We have been all along speaking only about academic autonomy and not financial or administrative autonomy, as the case may be. And what does this autonomy mean? It only means that the teachers should have both the responsibility and the right to play a part in the admission of students, to play a part in the preparation of the curriculum and syllabi, instruct in the classroom, and also assess the students and give the results of their assessment.
Yeah.
This is almost the right of the teaching community, which is performed in every part of the world excepting India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, as a teacher, I am a proud teacher, and I feel that I should be trusted and I must be allowed to play this kind of a part as far as the education system is concerned. I have great faith in the teaching community, whether they work in government colleges or in private colleges. Given this responsibility, I assure you that they will not betray the trust that is placed in them.
That is, you feel that the teachers will rise to the occasion and they can be trusted.
Very definitely. And that is the only way that you can involve the 2.5 lakhs of teachers that we have in this country to involve themselves and participate in the educational program.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what is happening? They are just tutors in the classroom.
Yeah.
They are not really performing the kind of functions their counterparts are performing in other parts of the world.
Yeah. And you write poems in Tamil, and you have won the award. And do you write in English? Do you write poems in English?
Well, I do not write. Very recently, I have been endeavoring to make a few translations of my own poems in English. I would possibly utilize this opportunity to make one observation on translation as such. You know, India has a great literary heritage.
Yeah.
It was Dr. Radhakrishnan who said that Indian literature is one, though written in many languages. But unfortunately, the kind of literary treasure that is available in one language is not known to the other language group, excepting for some limited publications that come. In my opinion, we should have not merely a knowledge of what is available in our own language, but an integrated picture of the literary heritage of this country. This can happen only if we resort to a massive translation of worthwhile books.
Yeah.
At least all those books which get Sahitya Academy Award should be translated into all the Indian languages. I think the government need bring into existence a policy in this regard.
So do you think that these Indo-Anglian writers, that is, we have a number of novelists and poets, they have a wider audience, they have greater acceptance, and those who write in the regional languages do not get that kind of recognition or acceptance? And don't you think that creative writing, strictly speaking, is possible only in one's language, and is not that easy in a foreign tongue?
Well, it all depends upon the proficiency that you have in a particular language, and also the kind of subject matter that you deal with.
Yeah.
If you take some of the modern areas of knowledge, and if one is very good in a language like India, maybe he would be able to use that language as effectively as his mother tongue.
Yes.
But in general, I would agree, the kind of felicity that you can have for creative writing in your own mother tongue may not be possible in a language that you pick up by way of learning a foreign language.
So I would ask you another question, maybe a troublesome question. That is, we have a Tara Shankar Banerjee in Bengal. He has written in Bengali. And we have Tagadi here, you have Agilan in Tamil, etc. But when we compare the writings of these eminent writers with those who write in English, that is the Indo-Anglian writers, do you feel that those who write in the regional languages excel the others?
Well, I wouldn't be able to answer this question because, while out of interest, I have taken to writing poems and to some extent critical prose works in Tamil. I have not been a very great enthusiast. I have never considered myself a writer. I have not spent much of a time in this area. But the only thing that I would say is that some of the greatness of the authors who write in the regional languages is lost to the country partly because of the language barrier.
Yes.
This is one point that I would like to make.
Yes. And your area of specialization is rainfall, and you are by profession a civil engineer. Then how do you combine this creativity and this engineering, research, etc.?
Well, I happen to be an engineer by profession and a teacher as far as my actual activity is concerned. But normally you have certain other interests.
Yes.
From the time that I was a student, I have been interested in literature, but I took to engineering because it is a more, what should I say, a profitable area of activity. And number two, you have certain social interests. You react to what is happening in the society. Obviously, literature provides an opportunity for you, an outlet to express yourself, even though you may not be able to actively involve yourself, because I have been a government servant, I couldn't do that. But writing provided me a kind of an outlet in order to express myself and get a little relief. Whether it is useful to them or not, it has been useful to me.
And you often write poems in a pseudonym, that is
Kulothungal.
Then why did you choose this pen name or pseudonym?
Well, it's very difficult to give an answer. I did that at a time when I was a student in intermediate. That is when I was about 17 years old. Kulothunga Cholan was one of the greatest Chola kings and one who patronized art and literature. Maybe that was the reason I chose, and I continued to write in that name.
Yeah. Then you got award for a critical work on Tirukural. So Tirukural has been much written on. It has been translated into various languages. Hundreds of writers have written on it. Then why did you choose to write on this book? What did you find unique about this great
matter of
literature?
fact, it is one of the books translated in largest number of languages. And there are many great scholars. I am no great scholar in Tirukural. But I happen to touch one aspect which perhaps has not been dealt with by others in the past. Tirukural is a secular book.
Yes.
You know, Valluvar lived around the beginning of the Christian era, about 2000 years from today. India knew atheism. India knew agnosticism. India had people with faith. But secularism is a modern concept. That Valluvar, who believed in God, who did make reference to heaven and hell, should write a book which was absolutely secular in nature is something that is very much appealing to me. And number two, he has written about kings, about mountains, about rivers, about kingdoms, but has not made mention of any kingdom. For instance, the Chera, Chola, Pandya kingdoms were he did not make any reference to them. He mentions no name of a river, no name of a mountain. When it comes to learning, he says some of the learned books must be read, some of the learned writings must be gone through, but he does not mention the name of any other, does not mention the name of any book. He would say proper tools must be used, but he wouldn't mention the name of any particular tool. To give you an example, when it comes to choosing the right kind of people for doing certain jobs, he says we should choose for doing a job that person after assessing that he has that talent, that tool, and then assign to that person that job. I mean, this is almost like the language of algebra, the language of mathematics. And you would be able to fit in whatever is appropriate through the centuries. Valluvar provided the container, but made it possible for you to change the content as you move along in human civilization. This again was something very unique, a tremendous amount of generalization.
So that
these are some of the aspects that I brought out in that book.
He is so secular, he is so universal, and he never will become outdated.
That's my point.
He is always relevant. That is why you have turned to him.
By and large, my book was an inquiry into what exactly made Tirukural an immortal work. What made it enduring, even though it was written at a time when the social system was different, the economic organization was different, the political system was different. But still, it is enduring because of some of these characteristics. These were the things on which I concentrated, and these, in my opinion, have not been dealt with earlier by some of the scholars who are unique, with whom I stand no comparison.
So do you mean to write any long poem or any long piece of fiction on the contemporary Indian life? So you have had so much of experience. You have worked at different institutions, so much experience you have.
Well, I keep writing. The last volume, the fourth volume of my poems appeared only about a year back. But I write not with any particular design. not with an intention to write. It very much depends upon my reaction to what is happening. A kind of, what should I say, a satisfaction to myself. So by and large, my poems are an outlet for certain strong emotions to which I get subjected. But I don't have any idea of entering into something in an epic form or something in a long narration in poems.
So do you feel any kind of conflict between your role as a bureaucrat or an administrator and your role as a poet who tries to express the sentiments, feelings of your characters?
Well, I may put it this way. There are many things that I have said in poems. If I have written them in prose, I would have got into trouble. You know, when you write things in poetry, you have certain freedom. Partly because a poet is allowed some license, partly also because many people don't write what you write in poems. So therefore, you still say what you want to say, but do not contravene government service conduct rules or any one of the service rules under which you are performing.
So, sir, we are really grateful to you for having agreed to come to the studio for this interview. We, the people of Kerala, are very happy to hear your words of wisdom, words of an administrator, words of a poet, and words of an academician, a teacher. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed